Whenever she weeded, Maken would deliberately step in dog poop, then take the opportunity to pack it and bring it away. Immediately after returning home, she would busily make a chocolate cake, mixing in the dog poop from her shoe soles that had a similar color. Then, carrying the finished product, she would knock on her neighbor's door and give it to him to taste, calling it making too much, and hoping the man could help eat a portion. Coincidentally, the neighbor hadn't eaten either, so he took a piece and decisively started eating, praising the taste while eating, with the only drawback being it was a bit sticky. Of course, Maken had no choice but to do this. Her name was Maken, an ordinary medical worker at a nursing home. Perhaps influenced by her work environment, Maken had a very cheerful personality. Although she sometimes got scolded by her supervisor, which somewhat affected her mood, as long as she returned home, ate a bite of her self-made cake, and then had a good sleep. The next day, Maken would be fully revived again. And it was such an optimistic and positive person whose life underwent earth-shaking changes because of the arrival of a new neighbor. The neighbor's name was Emil, the town's notorious ruffian. This guy was idle during the day, and as soon as night fell, he would organize friends to come to his house to party. And they would party all night, making so much noise that Maken simply couldn't sleep. At first, she didn't want to cause more trouble. After all, young people, and having just moved to a new home, it's normal to invite a few friends over to gather. She believed the situation would change in a few days, but she never expected that Emil completely didn't know how to restrain himself and simply didn't care about the feelings of the people nearby, insisting on holding parties at home for a full week. This had already seriously affected Maken's normal life. Forced by necessity, she had to personally approach Emil, hoping he would turn the stereo volume down because the wall's sound insulation was really too poor. The first time, Emil cooperated. As soon as Maken finished speaking, he had his friend turn down the volume. But unexpectedly, as soon as Maken returned home, the damned sound once again reached her ears. That feeling was as if she was trying to sleep in a quiet environment while Emil frantically beat gongs and drums. In a word, she couldn't sleep. Simply couldn't sleep. At 4 a.m., Maken completely exploded. She angrily knocked on Emil's door, loudly accusing him of having no public morals. If this continued, Maken wouldn't mind calling the police. Upon hearing the word police, Emil, in just a few words, scolded Maken back home. But when she actually dialed the number, she was dumbfounded, because for nuisance cases like this, the police need at least 2 or more complaints to accept the case. That is, besides Maken, another neighbor needed to call the police. Considering the late hour, there was no other way. She could only spend the night in her car, praying that Emil would quiet down for a few days. Who would have thought that not only did this guy show no remorse, but that night he seemed to have invited even more people. By the looks of it, it somewhat seemed like he meant to wage war against Maken. Recalling what the police said last night, she had to find other neighbors and ask everyone to also call the police. But it turned out that Maken's idea was still too naive. Some neighbors didn't dare offend Emil. Some didn't want to bring trouble upon themselves. And of course, there were those who claimed to be deaf. Regardless of true or false, no one wanted to get involved. Just as Maken was at a loss about what to do, she happened to step on dog poop on the ground. Instantly, an idea to retaliate against Emil came to her mind, leading to the scene at the beginning.